What is up, my legends? New year, new game. Well, kind of a new game. A lot of things have changed since the last time I've made these types of videos. And this is pretty much a new player guide, and we're going to talk about banner logic, or as I like to say, bannerology. Like, I just make it one word and a little bit scientific, even though that's not even a word. I made it, so it's a word now. All right, so what is bannerology? Bannerology is basically what you do in the game as far as how you handle summoning. Now, in order to actually know how to handle summoning, you have to know a little bit about the game. And being a new player, you don't really know a lot about the game. So I'm going to kind of break it down for you and things that you look for, times when you should look for going after a banner, and sometimes when a banner is a trap, and sometimes when a banner is just too awesome not to go after. All right. Now, when you come into this game, one of the first things that you're going to actually deal with is banner summoning. Around 1-4, you'll be able to get your first banner summon pull. Most people, what they'll do is they'll summon there and see if they get anything good, and if they don't get anything good, they'll turn around and restart the game. They'll just delete their account and start all over. But that's all fine and good, but once you get after World 110, you get a selective 30 summon, where you pretty much can summon 10 times, 30 times, and you particularly it's going to be at the bottom down here underneath the friendship summon, and it's going to allow you to do that 30 times a 10 summon, and that's going to basically allow you to pick if you so see fit on characters. Now, you can have a good start, and a good start is relative to you. I will not tell you what a good start is for you because it's different for everybody. Everybody wants different things. You could start off with cool characters, but everybody's meta is not the same. As much as everybody wants to think that, that's not the case. Everybody likes different characters. Everybody determines who they like. Like, it's just within you. It's not within me to say who you should like and who you should play with. And that's where we have to kind of take a step back and as a community and understand that we can't force people to play characters. You can suggest and say that, hey, this is a really good character, and show them a tier list to say, hey, these characters perform this way on this particular tier list, but you can't directly imprint your opinion on somebody and say you must do this, or a noob or a scrub or anything else. It just does not work like that. Don't let anybody tell you that. Don't let anybody in the community make you feel badly about using the character, because as long as you win, you're fine. You're fine. You win, you're fine. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what anybody else says. As long as you win, you're good. So with that said, we're going to go in and look at these particular characters right here. Now, in this particular banner, we have Violet. Violet's an okay character, but in my opinion, if you're new and starting in this game at this point in time, when you're looking at this right now, Violet is not a character you should really be worried about. He's okay, but not somebody you should just be going crazy to be spending all your summon stuff after. He's not a game changer, as I would think it is. He's not going to carry you through a whole bunch of content. He's good PvP wise. PvE is like, he's all right, but there's characters that can carry you through content, and we're going to talk about each one briefly. I'm not going to go through all of this right here. Now, we have Vildred, which is number 1 right there. Vildred is probably one of the top AoE characters in the game, as well as Charlotte. Baal Sazan is pretty good as a debuffer. Ravi is a good all-around character, so if you start off with her, you can just rock her. She can be a DPS, she can be a tank. Works really well. Saria is a good single-target nuker. She also has a debuff on defense, so you can use her. Sez is one of the more technical characters in the game. You cannot face roll with Sez, but if you learn how to use Sez properly, Sez can basically wipe things out, PvE and PvP, very easily. T-Win I have no comment on because I do not like the character and I think he needs a buff. Ken just recently got a buff, and he is a very good character if you want to start out with him. Marethia is probably one of the top 3 mages AoE damage in the game. Does a lot of damage, so if you start with her, it's not a bad thing. Chloe is a good single targeter, good for Wyvern, but not so much anymore because we have a lot of characters that are good for Wyvern. Particularly me personally, have not been a major fan of Chloe because I felt that there's so many other people that do her job better, but if you get her and start with her, that's fine. Basar, I'm not really a fan of him. I don't really have that much to say about it. Ludwig needs a buff in the story. Sigrid is probably one of the more solid DPSs, and she has a good bleed that will actually help you out in a lot of fights, especially fights like Hunt Wyverns and pretty much all the hunts. and she's a good all-around DPS. Destina is the highest output healer in the game, and again, another technical character. It's like says, if you use Destina properly, she's the strongest healer in the game. If you don't, she's probably not the strongest healer in the game, but she's definitely not the easiest healer in the game to use. I guess you could say Tenebria is a very good defense down, break AoE, just a lot of damage on top of you type of damage dealer. If you get her, that's a good start. Crow is probably one of the better tanks in the game. Very good single target, extremely good against Wyvern 11 when you are far enough. Don't worry about that right now, but he's very good PvP and PvE. Euphine has just recently gotten a buff. She's okay, not as good as I would like her to be, but she's a very good start, and she's rare for whatever reason. The same thing with Haste. Haste is probably one of the best, if not the best, AoEer in the game, because he has a lot of sustainability along with that AoE, and he has a lot of synergy with a lot of characters, including the newest character that we just got with the specialty change on Hazel. He just becomes even more of a monster at that point, so very good. Cecilia is one of the top DPSers, tanks in the game. She's she's kind of a little bit broken because she has a taunt, she has a shield, she has good AoE damage for a tank, and she's tanky. You put her together with lifesteal, she just hardly dies. Kayron is very good. He's probably one of those characters that people really don't pay attention to a lot, but he's actually a really good character. And again, like Violet, he's not an account changer. So if you actually are going to start out your game, you probably don't want to start out with Kayron. Just get him later on if you can. Kisei, hands down, is probably one of the best DPSs up here. If you get her or you start with her, I don't know if she actually can be one of the characters in the start, but if she is, I don't know that for sure. Game changer. The same thing with Balana. Balana is a game changer as well. Balana makes a lot of content easier, and she can be the solo DPS and do just fine. She has a AoE defense down the same way Tenebria does, and she has a good AoE and a good single target if you put her together with the Rosa artifact, which is Rosa Haragana. She is downright broken. Just saying. All right, 4-star heroes. Rose, not really all that great. Silk is okay, or used to be really good, but they kind of nerfed her a little bit. Armin is actually a very good tank. You can start out with him. Zaretta, I don't really have that much to say about. Kyrene is probably one of the top DPSs in the game. Giving her the proper gear, damage and crit, she will devastate anybody. Corvus, meh. Karja, meh. Sid, probably the scariest PvP single target damage in this game, and you can make him PvE single target damage pretty good, but he's pretty scary. Kati is probably one of the top healers because her healer is on the shorter cooldown, and she has immunity to go along with it. Shuri, I'm kind of okay with Shuri because he's a good setup type of character, so if you have him, it's good to go with him. Dingo, I really don't see any much use for him. To be honest with you, there's a lot of characters that do his job better. Clarissa is a good bleed character. If you want to go ahead and actually use her, by all means, go ahead. You'll be very much in the liking of her. Leo, I don't really have much opinion for him. I kind of like just see him and be like, meh. Lots is one of the more underrated healers in this game. He's very good. If you get him and you haven't gotten any other characters, just use him. He can be used all the way to end game, no problem. He's super good. Maya, I haven't found much use for. Coley, I haven't found much use for either. Purgus is kind of okay. Crozet, not so much. Damiel, I consider Damiel just pretty much fodder for Challenger Damiel. I know that sounds sad, but just the way I feel about it. Roman, again, I don't have much to say about Roman. Ren is probably a very underrated healer as well. Pretty good. Angelica is probably one of the top 3 healers in the game because she has a shield, she has immunity, and all around she's cute. I know that's not a reason, but she's cute. Siren is probably one of the top bleeders in the game. And I'm not going to talk about the 3 stars. The 3 stars, you kind of can just do what you want. But really quick, Aether, if you get ML Aether, or it's called Gilded Aether, you can use Aether to just... No, Gilded Aether is probably one of the better 4-star ML characters. Moonlight Summon, we're going to talk about Moonlight Summon in a bit, but he's probably one of the better ones, and he's a game changer. So If you have a bunch of Aethers and you get the ML Aether, just go ahead and imprint into them. You'll be happy with that. Butcher Corpse, meh. Terran the Royal Guard is pretty good for his synergy with certain characters, and he actually does a good job on hunts. Clury is probably one of the best tanks in the game once you specialty change her, so if you have a bunch of Clury, just imprint her and save her for later till you're strong enough to actually specialty change her. Judith, not really. Alexa, not really. Ruzit just basically got a specialty change, and he's pretty good PvP. Tiara just got nerfed, so don't even worry about her. Enoch, meh. Helga, meh. Zelia, meh. Terran the Guard, Terran the Guard or Royal Guard, I'm forgetting. One of them is good, but one's not. Mukachu, not really. Hazel is the one who just recently got her fire change and a specialty change for fire, and she's a specialty change, a fire special healer. That's what I wanted to say. She's very good with fire characters, one particular fire character, and she's alright. I would like her to have been a little bit better with her heals and everything, but I guess they didn't want to make her overpowered. I'm seeming, it seems like that. It seemed like they stopped a little bit short with her, unfortunately, but she's a solid character if you don't have anybody else. Montmorency is okay if you don't have anybody else. Again, Adelaide, not so much. Carrot, not so much. Jenna, not so much. Jack is okay. Numinous, really, not so much. Rima, not so much. Curious used to be super great, but now it just got nerfed into oblivion, so it's not all that great. You can still use her for certain fights in Abyss, but I wouldn't mess with her. Carmen Rose is a good character to use early if you don't have anybody else. Misty Chain, and Pearl, Artifacts we're going to talk about in a different video. We're not going to talk about artifacts in this video because that's a totally different story. Alright. Now you got your summons and everything out the way. How do you know if something is a trap summon? So, majority of the time, banner is a trap summon if it's a overabundance on the banner. Now, for whatever reason, this game likes ice characters. There's too many ice characters. A buttload of ice characters. So we're gonna go in and look, see how many ice characters I have, and not even with me trying, it just happened. All right, so you got Zeno, you got Deanne, you got Sigrid, we got Cez, we got Yuna. So going down, we got Angelica, we got Clarissa, we got Kyrene. Like, there's just too many ice characters. Now, another thing you want to take advantage of is looking at the journal, so you can see characters coming in. All right, so we go over here to the hero journal. You can just look overall and see the characters that we don't have. Like, well, we don't have Nagal right here coming in, and you can just kind of like get a look. Let's see here. I need to find. There she is, Luna. All right, now the hurtful thing about Luna is she's ice. It hurts my feelings. It hurts my feelings that she's ice, because she's the exception on that rule of when there's just too much ice to just look past it. She's a game changer, a total game changer. Her character, she's super strong. She can be literally a DPS and a tank at the same time, where there's a lot of characters who really can't do that, but she can do it. Particularly strong. But the reason why that I'm showing you this is where you come in and you actually see where characters are coming. So if you don't have a particular character and it's coming in the summon, then you can check it out. Same thing goes for Moonlight characters. If you don't have a Moonlight character, you can head over here and look at the Moonlight characters that you don't have, as you can see right here. Or people that you just haven't plainly unlocked. And you want to look in the future and look at, just basically see, is this character going to be good? Just kind of have, a game plan. Now, speaking of the other summons, and I know this is taking long, but it takes a while to explain this. We have the newly added Mystic summons, which you see I'm, just short of, which is just hurting my feelings. It just won't drop. And the hunt, and I'm F the hunt right now. You see, pretty much we have these characters right here. Now, Specimen Says and Kitty Carissa are the MLs in here for the Moonlight summon. Everything else is just normal characters that you can get elsewhere, like Asaria, Holy, Dingo, Shuri, Purgus, let's see, Carmen Rose, Morency, Helga, Ruzit. These are just things that you can relatively get, and it'll actually help you out with your characters. Some of this in here is just artifacts, and like we like other artifacts, but yeah. You pretty much get this particular currency from doing Guild War and doing hunts. I believe at Hunt 6, the Mystic Summons the currency starts to come for that, so you get that from there, and then you might get a character that you need. You can't directly influence this in any other way other than Guild War and the hunts, and spamming out hunts as best of your possibility. And yeah, that's that. So you have the Moonlight Summon. Oops. Now the Moonlight Summon is pretty much when you use mileage in this game, and you can influence this by just directly spending and just keep doing a whole bunch of Covenant summons, and until you get to a point where you get 5 of these, which you can also get from let me backtrack a little bit. You can get Galaxy bookmarks also from hunts. You can also I'm sorry, not Galaxy book. You can get Galaxy bookmarks from raids. I'm getting it mixed up. You can Galaxy bookmarks from raids. You also get them from actually going in here.
What do you think?
Rip. Going in here. I'm totally messing this up. You get them for going right here. And every 20 Covenant bookmark summons, you get 1 gold transit stone. Once you get to 6, you get 5 Galaxy bookmarks, which is 1 summon. Which is pretty good. And it's debatable because you can also use that for your 4 Hero Star summon tickets. Now here's the thing, and where people got mad before, and this is basically based off preference. A vast majority of the time, Galaxy bookmark summons are going to lead you and give you something that you probably won't use or be able to need, because majority of the characters in the ML summon are PvP characters and not necessarily that great for PvE. This is a PvE game. Don't let anybody tell you anything different. They have PvP in this game. It's kind of like slapped onto this game, but this game is not built for PvP. It's just there. So in the beginning, which is what I told people, when you just have gotten no type of luck, you should probably go for the 4-star hero summon. But it's pretty much a choice at that point. It's a choice. Do you want to go gamble? And I'm leaving this up to people, and this is the thing where I said in the beginning, where you have to actually allow people to make the choice for themselves and not tell them that they're bad or anything else because they choose something like this. Say you have no luck in the game right now, your team is trash, you're not getting 3-star, you're not getting 4 or 5 stars. This is what's going to happen to a lot of people, and then they end up quitting the game. And the reason why I said what I'm saying is I'm trying to avoid that particular situation, because that's going to happen a lot in the gacha game. When you look at Moonlight summons, it's 2.5 to get a 5-star hero. It's 27.5 to get a 4-star hero. You may get lucky and get all this, but vast majority of the time you're going to get this shit down here. And as a new player, getting some of these characters will screw you hard. Screw you hard as a PvE person trying to get through, unless you get Phyllis. Phyllis is definite PvE because she's one of the best in the game, unless you get Axe God. Gunther is kind of like okay, and Lorena, you get a free Lorena, so that kind of just hurts everybody's feelings when you get her. Rakura's got nerfed. Doris is one of the better healers in the game. Otilia is good, but she's technical, like Says and Destina. So most people are going to get Otilia and look at her and be like, this character sucks. She doesn't really suck, but she's not face roll, and that's a problem. Elson got nerfed. Haruto is only good for like one thing, and that's countering DN. After that, like, what are you going to use him for? Celis, you're probably not going to use that often in PvE. Wanda, you're not going to use that often in PvE. Gumi Rain and Rakim were okay, maybe slightly, but majority of the characters right here that you're going to get, you're going to be looking at them as a new player and be like, what did just happen? I thought these characters were supposed to be good. And that's the problem. That's why I said you should worry about your getting your team stronger first, then you worry about the Moonlight summons, and then hopefully you get something good. Maybe you get a 4 or 5 star. And I don't want people to misquote it again, because it was misquoted a lot last time, and people was getting in their feelings and getting all butthurt about shit, and they weren't actually quoting me properly, and I'm making it known in this. That's where I'm coming from, that it's not necessarily a good thing for a new player to be going after this, because the majority of the time these characters are not going to help a new player unless they just win the lotto and somehow get one of these 5 characters up here in the 5. Well, get one of these 5-star characters, or maybe get a 4-star character. But we all know that shit ain't gonna happen 98% of the time. So you don't tell the whole community to go hardcore right in the beginning for a 98% chance to get screwed. And you just don't. That's just not. If you're teaching, that's not what you do. But you give people a choice. Say, hey, this could happen. You could get something really good right here, but majority of the time you are not. So it's your choice. I'm not going to tell anybody that they're bad for doing it. I'm not going to go make Reddit posts or Discord complaints or anything else like this. It's your choice at this point in time to decide if you want to go after that and if it's worth it for you. All right. So going forward, there's the mileage summon right there. You kind of always want to kind of keep pushing your mileage summon, but you don't want to keep pushing it on crap. So we have the Violet summon here. If you like Violet, then go for Violet. Me personally, I like his character. I don't like his aesthetic. His character and his storyline was pretty cool, but his aesthetic, not so much. So if you still want to go for summons, and you just like whatever to Violet, you would go into Covenant summons and just go after everything here, because what's going to happen is Violet isn't going to be here, but you're just going to be summoning on the base pool. Now with that said, going after not going after him, you have an increased chance in this particular summon, and all the rest of the stuff is here. However, if you don't like him, you run the chance of him coming out multiple times, because that can happen because his rate is higher. So then you just end up with, like, maybe if you're spamming really hard, you're gonna end up with like 2 or 3 Violets, and they're gonna be like, all right, well then, like, are you gonna use him? Are you gonna imprint him? Or are you gonna use him as fodder for other stuff? And you're just gonna trigger people because they get butthurt when you use Nat 5s like they paid for it. If you pay for it, you do whatever the hell you want to do with it. Don't listen to anybody else. But with that said, you do run the risk of him coming out multiple times, and there's a higher chance of the Violet Talisman to come out multiple times as well. So that takes up some of your luck that you can use over here to get any of the rest of the stuff here. This is just the thing. Again, I give you guys the options, and the options are there for you to tell you both sides of it. I don't want you to feel any other type of way, to allow you to make your own choice, an own educated choice, and not have it be just toxic or whatever else, or make anybody feel bad about anything that they're doing. I'm not here to make you feel bad about anything. I'm here to just give you the information and allow you to pick and choose as you see fit. Now, the last thing I will touch on is limited banners. The end was the only limited banner that we had so far. Is probably rumored and probably already, because it was data leaked already, that Luna is going to be the next limited banner. What that basically means is that the character is not going to be coming back after that. Probably not for a very long time, if ever. So that means you have one shot at that particular point in time to get the banner or get that character. Now, they had a pity rate in the last one for Luna, and Luna was 120 tries. Out of 120 tries, if you get to that 120th try, you will get Dien. I'm sorry, Dien had a pity. I think I said Dien, but Dien, after you got to the 120th try, you automatically get Dien. Me personally, I did not get to that point, and I got her twice in that amount of time, and I was out of that banner. Hopefully they do the same thing again for Luna. If they do, I suggest everybody new and old, if they give us that pity rate of 120, go after her, because she's one of the strongest characters in this game. There's no excuse, if you are playing this game currently, to at least try. Just try. You never know what happens. You might get a first summon, might get a 10th, 20, 30, 40. Just get her. because she's one of the strongest characters. You will not be let down. She's a character you will always use. Just do it. Just do it and say that Scion told you so, because just do it. So other than that, I will catch you guys next video. I hope you get some use out of this. I hope everybody understands everything and understands what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make it at a point where people have information and just not be swayed because I'm just one particular YouTuber saying one thing. I gave everybody both sides of the story and allowed you guys to pick and choose where you want to go with your account, because it's your account. I can't tell you what to do with your account, and nobody has the right to tell you what to do with your account. Not Reddit, not Discord, not me, not anybody else on YouTube, Twitch, or anything else. You do what you want to do with your account. It's your account. You put the time in. I don't put the time in. You have to win. If you win how you win, I am happy for you. Congrats. If you come in my comment section and say that, hey, I beat this, that, third, I will always congratulate you. I don't care what team it is that you use. As long as you win, it's all good. Be legendary. Follow me Twitch, Twitter, and Discord. Peace and good luck on your summons.